Shuffle in city government, what Portland's mayor is now adding to his list of responsibilities. Also tonight, new developments after a series of arsons around Mount Tabor. Neighbors react as 3 teenagers are hit with criminal charges. But first,
the fire trucks were coming up and we were seeing some smoke.
Smoke, debris, and concerns of a collapse as a corner of the Rose City goes up in flames.
This is KGW News at 11.
Good evening, and developing tonight in downtown Portland, an update on that huge fire that gutted an abandoned historic church. The fire sparked around 5:30 at Southwest 10th and Clay, lighting up the evening sky and prompting a significant response. Portland Fire and Rescue says the blaze is now contained, but streets are closed in the area because of concerns the structure there could collapse. The streetcar is also suspended. No word on a cause or if anyone was inside.
It's horrible. I mean, it was such a beautiful building, historic, and, you know, it's degraded steadily over the years, and now this. It's really extremely sad.
Well, if the building looks at all familiar, that's because it also caught fire back in September of 2020. This is the former home of the Portland Korean Church. It has been vacant for years. We will keep you updated on this as we learn more. Well, thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko. Tonight, we're also following an update on a series of arsons on Mount Tabor last summer, with 3 teenagers now facing charges in connection with those crimes. As Catherine Cook reports, investigators think the suspects started fires all over Portland.
I couldn't really believe what I was seeing.
Jenny Cambier remembers the late August night that's haunted her neighbors for months. It was around 11:30 as flames licked the side of Mount Tabor's west slope, dangerously close to homes.
If there had been winds that night, that fire would have pushed way up into the park.
Jenny called 911. She's thankful she got out of bed that night to make sure her cars were locked, never thinking this is what she'd find.
A good chunk of our hillside, which is the park property, was on fire.
Fast forward 5 months. On Tuesday, the Multnomah County DA's office announced 3 teens accused of setting multiple fires across Portland are now facing charges once again. Samuel Perkins, Malik Harris, and Wayne Chen are all 18 years old. Harris faces 14 charges, including reckless burning and unlawful possession of a destructive device. Perkins and Chen are also charged with arson and reckless burning. Among properties damaged, court documents name this house on Southeast 92nd and Carruthers. Amazing Grace Lutheran Church owns the property. But the fires on Mount Tabor caused the most concern, especially among firefighters.
Since we've got so many fires, 15 to 20 fires in a short period of time in this area, it indicates that there's probably an arsonist in this area.
There were some of our neighbors who were going on nightly patrols up at the park just because they were really worried.
In September, police arrested the 3 teen suspects, but later all charges were dropped. At the time, the DA's office said the case remained a pending investigation. Then last month, a grand jury considered evidence leading to the new charges. Jenny is just relieved.
We'll be following closely, as will all of our neighbors.
And Catherine joins us now. Catherine, I suppose neighbors are also wondering why. So any word on a motive here at all?
Well, David, we got a little idea from an affidavit filed last summer. It shows that in an interview with a Portland fire investigator, Harris admitted that he didn't know why they were starting the fires and that they were just being stupid.
All right, Catherine, thank you.
That was here? I don't think I'm gonna be coming here anymore. That's kind of scary.
Well, scared and shocked as TriMet riders express disbelief over a gruesome attack at a MAX station. We want to warn you tonight, the details here are extremely disturbing. Our Mike Benner has an update on both the suspect and the victim.
Tuesday morning at the Cleveland Avenue MAX stop in Gresham, a security guard patrols the platform just hours after an attack that's left riders in shock.
I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it's weird what the world coming to. I mean, people do bizarre things.
Bizarre is one way to describe what happened here. Horrendous is another. Police say around 2:15 in the morning, they responded to reports of a man assaulting another man. Officers arrived to find the suspect on top of his victim, a 78-year-old man from Hillsborough. Investigators say the suspect had chewed off the victim's ear and chewed off some of his flesh to the point his skull was visible.
That was here? I don't think I'm gonna be coming here anymore. That's kind of scary.
It was, pretty bloody. Not something our officers see every day.
Jerem Swayze of the Gresham Police Department says officers quickly apprehended the suspect, identified as 25-year-old Corin Kramer. Police say Kramer recently moved to Portland from Georgia.
Investigators are looking into whether drugs played a factor into the suspect's actions, but we're not sure at this time.
What we do know is that Tuesday morning's attack comes less than a week after a woman pushed a 3-year-old girl onto the MAX tracks at the Gateway Transit Center.
What people do is it's ridiculous. I mean, it's a shame that our city becoming what it is.
The suspect in last week's assault and the suspect in Tuesday's attack are both off the streets. For that, TriMet riders are grateful, but they're still in disbelief.
I mean, who would do such thing? We're human beings. I mean, I can't imagine people doing this kind of stuff, but it's a shame. That's all I can say.
I'm Mike Benner for KGW News.
Such a disturbing story. Let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines. The grad student charged with murdering 4 University of Idaho undergrads has made his first court appearance in Pennsylvania. Brian Koberger waived extradition, meaning he'll be brought to Idaho to face charges. The hearing was brief, and Koberger told the judge he does not have mental health challenges. Law enforcement sources tell NBC News DNA evidence played a key role in his arrest. Well, Congress returned to the nation's capital today, but no work is getting done in the House because members have still not elected a speaker. California Congressman Kevin McCarthy failed to reach the threshold of 218 votes 3 times in a row. About 20 Republicans voted for a member of the ultra-conservative Freedom Caucus. The House is now adjourned until noon tomorrow. Meanwhile, on the Senate floor, it was a historic day for Washington Senator Patty Murray. Senator Murray's the first woman to ever serve as Senate President pro tempore. In that role, she will sign bills that head to the president's desk. Senator Murray is also now 3rd in line for the presidency, following the vice president and Speaker of the House, presumably once one is elected. And speaking of political leadership, Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler has issued an executive order shuffling which commissioners will run certain city bureaus. This is a partial list, though. Newly elected Renee Gonzalez takes on fire and emergency communications. Carmen Rubio takes on housing from Dan Ryan. The mayor takes on the Office of Joint Homeless Services, also instead of Ryan. He also continues to oversee the Police Bureau. And tonight we're taking a closer look at one of the biggest challenges facing the Rose City. People, particularly on the streets, facing substance abuse challenges. And with a more addictive form of meth now hitting the streets, both politicians and local health leaders are working to chart a way forward. A warning, some of the video you're about to see shows drug use and may be hard to watch. Here's our Blair Best.
Homelessness and addiction oftentimes go hand in hand.
Yeah, I've done drugs while I was out here.
This man started doing drugs in prison when he was 33. Now, 22 years later, he's still addicted and living on the streets in Old Town.
It's ongoing ever since, and I've never been able to stop.
For he and his friend Dan, addiction has turned into a form of survival.
Oh, I couldn't handle being out on the street without drugs. It would drive me nuts.
Dan's latest fix, P2P meth.
How many times a day would you say that you smoke this P2P meth?
Oh, geez, 15, 20.
And it's everywhere.
Would you say it's easy to get access to these drugs out here?
Very easy.
You said it's very easy?
Yep. There's been times where I haven't had money for 3 weeks. And I still get high every day.
P2P meth has been around for years. It's now one of the leading drugs on Portland streets. And research shows it's causing an increase in overdose deaths among homeless people. It's a smaller, more potent type of methamphetamine, which makes it easier to traffic.
Our community is awash in these inexpensive and highly addictive drugs. Fentanyl, and the drug that we're all watching across America right now is what is called P2P meth.
In a recent meeting with local business leaders, Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler talked of his plans to address homelessness and stressed the dangers of this drug.
Once you use this P2P meth, it very quickly scrambles your brain permanently, meaning some of the individuals who you see who are addicted to P2P meth, they will never be able to function on their own again. They will be institutionalized, or they will be relegated to the streets for the rest of their lives.
Local doctors see it differently.
I do not think that that people who use P2V meth are doomed to a lifetime of institutionalization.
Amanda Risser is the Senior Medical Director of Substance Use Disorder Services at Central City Concern and works at Hooper Detox Stabilization Center in North Portland. Research shows people using methamphetamines can be at risk of developing a severe mental illness, but not all.
We are seeing that folks get better with treatment. We're seeing that folks get better when they're housed.
Risser says they're struggling to keep up with the demand for addiction treatment.
A lot of our patients who are using fentanyl, especially if they're experiencing homelessness, find that using methamphetamines helps counteract the sedating effects of the fentanyl.
For some, getting clean feels almost impossible.
Have you ever tried to get into a detox center or a treatment center?
Yeah.
What happens then?
I generally end up just not following through because it takes a darn long to get in anywhere. You know, just...
I wish there was more that we could do or something like that, man. But it's I don't know, man. It's too far. We're too far gone.
Portland's healthcare system has been strained over the past few years, and as a result, doctors are seeing people's mental health worsen, like those two men we talked with here in Old Town. Substance abuse specialists are now asking local government to invest in their workforce so that they can keep up with the needs of the streets. Blair Best, KGW News.